worried about the rising property prices, rent, gentrification, and development that's displacing a lot of poor, vulnerable people.
As if Hurricane Katrina or some massive disaster had swamped the country, that's the kind of effort we need now.
Well, today the federal government announced its master plan, a national housing strategy.
The needs and the conditions and the situations are different from Vancouver to Quebec City, from Montreal to Toronto, from Rimouski to small communities in northern Saskatchewan.
So the goals over the next 10 years, to build 100,000 new affordable housing units and renovate 300,000 existing ones, to introduce a new benefit, giving people an average rent subsidy of $2,500 per year, to cut homelessness by 50%, and to bring in legislation that would make housing a fundamental right. What it doesn't include, any strategy for First Nations, Inuit or Métis. That won't come for at least another year. Now, today was more about broad strokes than fine detail. There's still a lot we don't know about how the government's going to accomplish all of these things. And reaction is all over the map. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh calls it timid. The Federation of Canadian Municipalities calls it a breakthrough. But let's hear from Canadians in one of the most unaffordable cities on the planet when it comes to housing. Briar Stewart has more from Vancouver.
In the shadow of a skyline marked with million-dollar condos lies a much different way of life. Parked in this industrial area are vehicles that have become homes. Tiana Snyman has been living in this 40-year-old RV while he's been working toward his master's degree.
I'm making a conscious choice to not pay rent and be able to afford going to school and finishing my education. And
We found dozens of campers and vans within a few city blocks, but there's no reliable estimate on just how many people are living like this. For the first time this year, officials tried to track the number of people living in their vehicles as part of the homeless count. They found that in Metro Vancouver, there were 58, but outreach workers believe the number is likely much higher. Matthew Higdon works as a courier, delivering food to some of those luxury condos downtown. But at the end of his shift, he returns here to sleep.
I mean, really, that's all you need at the end of the day, a warm place to lay your head down. So that's what I got, along with a gym membership to shower.
He says he would prefer apartment living, but it's out of reach.
I mean, unless you find 5 friends and can luck out and find a landlord that wants you all to live there together and you split, $3,600 rent between you.
So he and others stay parked and say for the most part, bylaw officers and the police leave them alone. As for Snyman, he says life in a vehicle, even in an RV, is taking its toll.
we're not meant to live next to the rail tracks and between garbage thrown out on the street and that kind of thing. I don't think it's good for our psyche to live like that.
Which is why once he's finished his master's this year, he's hoping to find a job in some more permanent housing.
It's not great.
So he can give up life in the RV along the curb. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Vancouver.